I'm Jesse Joroge. I come from Kinangop constituency, Jabini sublocation. I'm talented in prediction, strategy, and critical decision making. Above all, I believe in God. Today, I want to call upon my fellow Kenyans to open their minds and think about this major problem that is destroying our country, COVID-19 pandemic. I want to introduce a COVID-19 pandemic battle-winning strategy. I'm certain that this strategy will fit all stakeholders and everyone whose wish is for the welfare of this country will support. If something is not to be done today, the spread of coronavirus will get to an uncontrollable point. What I mean with this is it will overpower the government and destroy our country. Total lockdown is the only permanent solution to this problem. If we help the government and we have a country lockdown now, this will be the best action. This is because we shall have saved ourselves from debts. This will help us have an easy burden later. Fellow Kenyans, now it's time we need to stand with our government if we don't want to become slaves in our own country. If we allow our country to be destroyed by this pandemic, we are the ones who are going to suffer. This is the high time we wake up and keep our differences aside and have one goal: to save our country. Let's now think, analyze, and sort out challenges we are going to face after immediate lockdown. We need to understand the challenges first. From the government side, the government does not have enough food to feed its people, lack of enough resources to cater for our daily arising problems. The government has less facilities to cater for the COVID-19 patients. The government is worried about the country's economy. The government has a challenge of identifying the 2 million homes that cannot sustain themselves with food for the next 21 to 30 days. As Kenyans, we have the following problems. 1. Food. We have over 2 million homes which cannot sustain to get food for the next 21 to 30 lockdown days. 2. Rent. During this lockdown period, Kenyans will not be working for these 30 days. This means they will not be in a position to pay rent for the next 2 months. 3. Loans. Kenyans will not be operating businesses during the lockdown period. They will not be in a position to pay loans for the next 3 months. 4. Power and water bills. Kenyans will have very little money and these bills will rise because they will spend most of their time using these resources. The little money they'll have will be used on food. They will not be in a position to pay these bills. 5. Communication. Kenyans will need to communicate and TVs to pass time and reduce stress level. Solution and sharing of responsibilities during the lockdown. The reason why the government have not called out for the total lockdown is because of the listed above challenges. The virus is taking the advantage and spreading in the whole country. We need to know that this country belongs to us, not the government. If we wait for the government to do everything for us, it will take a lot of time and this will cost us dearly later. We need to ask ourselves, what can we do to save our country? It's high time now the government should give us a pay bill number for us to give what we have. Sharing responsibilities. 1. Our responsibilities as Kenyans. Help the government with money. The government needs money to have this system working. If they fail, our country is leading to the wrong direction. Number 2, obey all the rules. My responsibility as Jesse Joroge. I will help identify the 2 million homes that cannot bring food to the table during the 30 days lockdown. I will also make food available and affordable to all families through my genius level strategy and my mind planning gift. I will do this without using government money. I kindly call upon any government advisor not to undermine me but just give me a chance to prove it. Please contact me through my boss, MP Kinangop constituency, Honorable Kwenya Thuku, or my email jesgesharu254@gmail.com, stroke my WhatsApp number 0796 311 764. I have a plan and a strategy. The government responsibility. It will be the government responsibility to 1. Regulate food prices. The basic food stuff in Kenya are maize flour, milk, cooking oil, and vegetables. The government should use the maize it imported from other countries to regulate the price of maize flour from its current price of 130 shillings per 2 kg packet to 70 shillings per packet. The government should take the maize to the local millers where it will be packed and stamped GOK. The only person who will be allowed to access the flour from the millers will be the disciplined forces and few licensed distributors to avoid greedy people from stealing. Law number 2. The KDF should take over the food business. Government should ask all the parastatal, schools and other government vehicles to be taken to the nearby barracks. The KDF will use these vehicles in supply of food to all corners of this country. They will use these vehicles to access foods and from the distributors and buy food from the farmers here at Mashambani upcountry. They will take them to other places like towns at a very low transport cost. E.g., a cabbage will cost 10 shillings each at the shamba, but when they take it to Nairobi, they will sell it at 15 to 20 shillings. People should make order through their Nyumba Kumi readers or assistant chiefs. Through phone calls, the assistant chief will make sure the food was delivered. The government should close all food businesses. This is to ensure that no one is taking the advantage of food issued by the government except the chosen legal suppliers. The government should communicate with the relevant bodies to help solve the following problems. 1. Banks. The government should communicate with the banks and ask them to pause loan payment for the next 3 months. This will reduce pressure to the landlords and let people live in their houses for the next 2 months without paying rent. Companies and businesses will be in a position to close at no pressure. 2. Communication and TV sector. The government should communicate with the relevant stakeholders to come up with an affordable premiums during the days of lockdown. E.g., TV should be free to air and mobile network providers should sell premiums like 15 GB data, 10,000 SMSs and 1,000 minutes talk time at a price of 500 shillings for the next 30 days during the lockdown period. 3. Pause power bills and water bills for the next 3 months. Kenyans at home will now be relieved from most of bills. This will give them an easy time in their houses. Ensure fluent supply of medicine and treat the sick. The government should take care of the sick in quarantine places, and it should also make sure that other patients suffering from other diseases receive their medicines through their sub-chief and health officers. Set a station where we shall be dealing with emerging issues. With this, Kenyans can stay at home in their houses for the next 30 days without any stress. Fellow Kenyans, let us analyze what will happen if coronavirus spreads to the whole country. 1. We shall be reporting deaths in high numbers. This is because the government will not be in a position to treat all the COVID-19 patients. The government will use all the resources available trying to treat these patients. To my own understanding, what will kill most of the people, if not the coronavirus, it's other diseases like high blood pressure, diabetes, etc. Most of the people who suffer from these diseases depend on daily dose to survive. The government will spend all the money on COVID-19 and forget about other diseases, which if patients miss to take their daily dose will lead to deaths. The government will be forced to lock down this country. If the COVID-19 spreads the whole country, the government will have no other option rather than closing down this country. During the lockdown period, the government will be fighting two battles at the same time. 1. COVID-19 battle. 2. Lack of enough food to feed its people. The government will borrow from any available lender at all conditions the lender will give to try and save its people. This will leave the country in a big burden of debt which must be paid back. During this period, the government will have no money. Maintaining law and order will be a challenge due to the government system's failure. When it comes to our economy, by the end of this battle, the government will have no other option other than to raise and increase taxes to enable paying of the debts. If we have a lot of people die, this will lead to decrease in population, thus leading to increase in tax payment burden. The country will experience high cost of living for the next 10 to 20 years. A call for unity. Dear fellow Kenyans, I would like to openly tell you that we are going to win this battle if and only if we work together as a team. What I mean by working together as a team is making it our own personal responsibility to stop the spread of coronavirus. As Kenyans, we have left this battle to the government and on the other side, relaxed to watch and challenge the government as it fights the spread of the virus. We have bad habit whenever we are challenged by anything. Instead of thinking of a solution, we start the blame game. We always have someone to blame. It's our government that is failing us, whoever is doing this, whoever is not. We fail to challenge ourselves and we don't ask ourselves, what is my part? And what have I not done? And how have I contributed to the failure of whomever I'm blaming? Just think that one day you wake up and find that we are all dead. You are the only person remaining in this country. What would you do? As you ask yourself that question, I want us to come to this point, the importance of a neighbor. I know what you just thought about. You would take one of the best vehicle near you and get to the nearest petrol station, take some food with you and drive to the nearest country to look out for people. You would tell them to come with you, of a place with a lot of wealth. Aha! Have you noted that you didn't care about all the riches, money, good houses, cows, and the rest? All you cared about is having people around you. The people around you are neighbors. We have learned that a neighbor is the most important thing that you can have. I'm calling upon all Kenyans to now adapt a habit of being your neighbor's keeper and also change minds from thinking and arguing about scientific facts about coronavirus and think about how we are going to win this battle. We change our beliefs that the government is our President, His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and his Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe, and this is their battle. We expect them with their two human brains to think on our behalf. I have a logic question. Between the two brains and our over 40 million thinking brains, who is likely to come up with a better solution? Who is failing who? I strongly believe it's our 40 million brains. If we leave this battle on the two brains, we won't win. That is why I'm calling upon every Kenyan to wake up and join these two to fight the battle together. If we fight this battle together, we will definitely win. For us to succeed, we need to have self-discipline and a good strategy. Be self-organized, and most important, be our neighbor's keeper. The main challenge we need to fight as we come together will be greed. When I talk of greed, this is the main problem that stops us from achieving our goals. We know there are less than 2 million families that cannot sustain themselves with food for the next 21 to 30 days. The main challenge is when the government tries to identify these homes, you find even the richest person in the village wants to be added to the list. Fellow Kenyans, we need to change from people who always expect to be given to people who are ready to give. This is the high time we start exercising to stretch our hands and help less fortunate. If we do this, I know our God will bless us abundantly. An example, Bill Gates and his wife, through their Melinda Gates Foundation, give a lot of money to people in Africa. Not because they want to come to live with them here, they have children here, or build schools for their children to come and study here. They do this for they know the importance of a neighbor. Fellow Kenyans, let's adopt this. Point of note, do you know that we have more than what we need to win this battle? If we make it our personal responsibility and come together to fight this pandemic as a team, within 2 months' time, we could be reporting 0 corona cases. The government is trying to get the money in terms of loans to fight this battle from other countries and raiders. Do you know what this will do to our economy? Do you know why the government is doing this? Do you know if we decide to help the government, we have more than what we need and more than what the government is planning to borrow? Do you know if we continue holding back and standing firm with what we have and not helping our own government, about 50% of what we have now will one day indirectly remain in the hands of raiders? When shall we Kenyans know how we indirectly lose money in businesses? Let me give an example. Mr. Thuo owns a hardware at my own village. If we don't lock down this country now, this is what is going to happen to his business. Let's look at one product that he sells at his shop, iron sheets. He bought iron sheets at a price of 210 per meter in different sizes. He is selling at a price of 240 per meter. Due to the government directives on personal distancing and transport issue, most factories are closing down. By the time the virus gets to an uncontrollable point, he will have sold all the iron sheets. Here comes the main problem. The government will have no other option other than to lock down the country. He will have sold all the stock by this moment. He will have 480,000 Kenya shillings in cash with 0 meters left on his stock. According to him, he will be convinced that he have made a profit of 60,000. After the government borrows a lot of money, this money needs to be paid back. The government will have no other option rather than to increase the VAT on every product. You will find that the government will increase tax from 16% to around 45 15% to be able to pay the debts and sustain the country's economy. Summary: he was buying 1 meter at a price at 210 shillings and VAT was 16%. This amounts to 33 shillings. Now he will buy at a price of 210 minus 33 shillings, which amounts to 81 shillings before tax, plus 45% tax. This will result to 262 shillings per meter as the current buying price. His 480,000 will buy 1,832 meters. He will have lost 165 meters. This will amount to 44,108 shillings loss. What if the country is locked out now? He will close his shop at a stock of 2,000 meters. If we help the government and we win this battle, you will realize that the government will not get into debts if we use my strategy. After one month or two, the businesses will come back to normal. The government tax will remain normal at a rate of 16%, and if there will be any increase, he will have a chance to increase the price during the sale. You will realize that he will not go for any loss. Just before I conclude, I would like to finish with a small story. There lived a 10-year boy. He lived with his parent in the forest. His parent could wake up very early in the morning and go out for hunting. He could bring back home meat every day. The boy lived a very happy life. One day, as his parent was hunting, he was hit by a buffalo. He came home but with no food. He was not in a good state to go hunting the following day. They went for 3 days without food. The boy realized that if he didn't do something, him and his parent would starve to death. He decided to take action and went deep in the forest to fetch for food. By God's grace, he brought home a rabbit. Though his parent brought big animals like antelopes and buffaloes, the rabbit, compared to the animals, was too small. It was enough for that day. He continued hunting and bringing home rabbits. A few weeks later, the parent already recovered. He now went in the forest and could bring back food at home. Life came back to normal and the boy was staying at home happily. From this story, if the boy stayed and did nothing, watch his parent, him and his parent would starve to death. Just because the boy decided to take action to go look out for food despite his age. That is why the parent survived and life came back to normal. The little food the boy got is what made a difference in their lives. The lesson we learn from this story is the little we have is enough to save our country. If we decide to take action, the government is our parent who have been doing everything for us. Now, our government is suffering from a temporary state, that is lack of money. We as Kenyans need to know now it's time we get something for our parent, the government. I know after this battle, our parent will be there for us. I will feed my parent now, for if my parent starve to death, I will have to struggle with my problems for the rest of my life. I might also starve too. I will stand with my government to the last minute. I'm calling upon my all Kenyans to come up and join me. We support our government. Conclusion. It's with great pleasure that I want to thank you all for your time. It's an honor to have you listen to this idea. I hope we Kenyans, we are going to stand together and bring this battle to an end. Please, my fellow Kenyans, I urge you to be your neighbor's keeper. Let's join hands today and we fight this battle together. Kindly spread this message to all Kenyans. Yours, Jesse Joroge. Contact WhatsApp 0796 311 764. Email jessigesharu254@gmail.com, Facebook Jesse Gesharu. God bless you. As you spread this message to fellow Kenyans, #Daima Mimi Mkenya, Mwananchi Mzalendo.